they say conditioning is almost like the term to describe working endurance.
We're just trying to create. They're really just trying to.
Did they cut us off already?
Oh, what?
Oh, we just went live and they cut us? Or maybe they.
It's because
I don't know what it is. Huh?
okay.
Oh, no. Oh, we going live. You here with it? What's going on, y'all? It's Friday. I hope you had an amazing week. First and foremost, how y'all doing? What's new? What's going on? Yeah. So we here at KT, we wanted to bring this new year by providing you guys with more content. So this is labeled episode numero uno. So it's going to be our goal to help provide you guys with resources, tools, perspectives when it comes to training.
Yo, you're being really nice for the talk.
I gotta.
He's luring you in for the discussion we about to have.
Yes, I am. But clearly, what, man?
We made a career out of being the beacon of light in the darkness.
Hey, Batman.
The goal is never to be malicious, but it is to present you with a lot of truths or facts that you will be dealing with when it comes to health and fitness. And we feel like the industry as a whole is doing a poor job of presenting you with good information. So that's where we come in. Yeah,
That's what I was trying to say. But like, I guess I was saying it too nice or whatever.
he was a little too nice.
I just was trying to give the audience a little background information of why we're doing this.
I understand, but I felt like I was gonna have to tone back what I was about to say.
Oh no, you can say whatever you want to say. Say what you get it off your chest, player.
I think we should let them know that as trainers, it is our profession to make you uncomfortable. So with this discussion, some things may make you feel uncomfortable with how you think about fitness.
That's a whole fact.
Oh, if you guys don't know me, I'm Isaiah, by the way. So just a quick intro.
Danielson.
And I'm Chris.
So yeah, we've all been trainers for quite some time. We've seen the ins and outs of training from commercial space to private, dealing with a multitude of demographics, and we've come to the conclusion that a lot of the issues are the same. And yeah, that's essentially what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so we're going to lead it off with expectations. And we're going to change your mind right quick.
So we believe that the perspective has been skewed over time, right? So what I mean by that is the expectation from the clients to the trainers and understanding what our role as coaches is, and then understanding also my trainers out there, understanding your role as a trainer in that process. You want me to start, or I don't know?
Yeah, go ahead. Take it
So I'll start. I think first and foremost, and since this conversation is going to be as real as possible, you're going to get my authentic self. So I am a coach. I am a trainer. I am not a babysitter. Okay. Oftentimes when I get clients that come in, potential clients that I even work with sometimes, I think what ends up happening is the client relies on the trainer too much. And what I mean in more detail is asking your trainer to hold you accountable.
You can't do that.
I can't do that.
Intrinsic. You are accountable for you. You can be responsible for someone else.
Correct.
To a degree. But even, we'll get there.
But like, I can't hold your hand. My goal as a trainer is to be of guidance to the individual, a resource to the individual. My goal is not to, understand that what we doing here is only part of it. It's only part of the equation, right? When you go home, I can't go home with you, right?
Well, I mean,
Nah. So
Nah.
nah.
Can be part of the premium package.
No package. So what I'm saying is, right? I can give you assistance. I can help you create a plan, but at the end of the day, you are the one that's responsible for it. Asking me to do more work, right, ultimately relieves you of your responsibility.
Mm.
And that's what ends up happening. So if you're in a tight spot and you've been trying this fitness thing out, you've been on this hamster wheel, ask how much responsibility are you withholding or upholding of yourself? How much are you how much are you involved in the process? If you're just like, I'm going to my trainer 2 days a week and that's it, that's gonna help me. That's not it. It's not it at all.
So keep in mind, you're learning to take on more responsibility. I think what Isaiah is saying is it's not the relationship of trainer and trainee is not due for you, it's due with you, so that you can build your own capacities.
Yeah.
Cool.
You'd like to add?
I think it ultimately comes down to there's an expectation. When most people seek out a trainer, they have an expectation that's well beyond and usually doesn't connect with what their actual goal is. So part of our jobs as trainers is to help kind of reconcile that. So what is your expectation? And then let us figure out what the plan is to get to your desired goal. So we do a lot of planning and manipulation of that plan, and then it's up to the individual to instill that or to continue with that, continue building and developing those skills.
I guess for me, and like if we're talking about personal expectations, for me, I try to come without any. When I have a client come through the door, because I never know what you guys are coming at me with. I think really expectations is your responsibility as a client because it's your life. Like, what do you expect to get out of it? You have to be real about where you are coming from, and then real where you are, so that we can be real with you about where you can go. It'd be very hard for us to plan and program something that will be successful if you are botching the information. Like, we are pedagogists. We are people who study how to learn and find ways to make it more successful for you. But that entails you taking the information and doing something. If you are looking for a babysitter and looking for somebody to hold your hand, that's not going to do anything for you.
Now, hold up. There's trainers who do this, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that. I'm saying here we just don't. Like, there's a level of expectation that you're going to.
And I shouldn't say it won't do anything for you because it will help you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we don't hold your hand either. Like at first,
To a level.
To a level.
Like, there's endpoints for everything.
Right,
Like,
you have
this will
training
help
pieces.
until it doesn't.
And then we take them off.
Yeah. So I tell people it's when I first see you, I'm gauging what your history is with fitness, first and foremost, right? So if you have a certain level of competency, you understand movement patterns, you generally understand how to progress yourself, then I'm automatically putting you in a category where I'm not going to walk you hand in hand. You don't need it. You don't need it. And in the acts of that for your trainer, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're much further along in the process, right? Now, if you're coming brand spanking new, you don't know what a squat is, you don't know what a hinge is, then by all means, that's my job now to educate you on that process. But when you're requiring new goals, that requires more effort, right? So if you're coming in and you've substantially been in the gym, year, 2 years, 3 years, you've had that under their belt, you can't expect your client to do, or your trainer to do more for you. It doesn't make sense. If anything, you now need to take an appreciation, or you need to take the responsibility to now dive into the field more so, right? So maybe it's nutrition. Maybe so it's you're tracking your nutrition now. You're tracking maybe your sleep. It's whatever it is that you put into it. But like, you can't expect your trainer to do that for you. Now we can ask, right? So I'll ask, hey, how's sleep going? How's everything going, right? But picture this. I can tell you, hey, sounds to me like you might need more sleep. I I can't knock you out. Like I can't.
I mean, I could.
I
Some
could,
y'all,
right?
some y'all. Ooh, ooh.
Like I said, that's your responsibility, and honestly, you owe it to yourself to do that. Like if you're looking for performance-based goals, or if you're just looking to better your life as a whole, it is now your responsibility to do so. I can only ask you the question. At the end of the day, you're the one who's responsible for it. Now, realistically, what I've found is most people lie to themselves. Yeah, I'm doing everything it is that I can. Are you though? I think that you should have higher standards for yourself and understand and realize the effort that you put in is going to be seen. Like there's an input and then there's an output. A lot of times I think what happens is most people expect this output, right, the goal, to just happen. And the input is here, your output or your goal is here, and then you're wondering why you're not where you want to be. Well, because you need effort to make up the distance.
I think the first thing causing that gap is your expectation between what it is you want. I'm just gonna throw like abs. I want abs.
Why?
You don't really want abs.
Why?
And
Why?
and here's why.
Why?
There's a
Aesthetically, it makes sense, but like,
I think there's a disconnect. But
I know I'm saying
feel like
it's
so-
socially. Let's be real. Aesthetically, socially, we look at people with abs as being more fit.
That's dependent on person.
Nah, we
Socially,
we
as
sell
a
that.
social society,
Not
Personally, I don't need somebody to have abs in order to fit.
you don't,
Right,
because
right.
you have the knowledge.
That should be something that is an expectation we
We're-
transfer on.
Listen,
If we're talking general population, society standards, somebody never walked in the gym before. You see somebody who's sleek, slender, toned, abs, you're gonna assume they're more fit, right? No.
No, I get yes. If I'm judging by the eyes, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what
I mean,
that's,
technically, right composition's a pillar of fitness, so they are more fit.
technically they are. But what
I
I guess what I'm saying is that people don't realize what it takes. Like if someone isn't genetically blessed with that kind of body type,
Mhm.
right? People don't understand the work necessary to achieve that kind of body goal.
I agree, but I also think that's our fault. And when I say our
The industry,
I
yes.
think fitness as a whole,
Yes.
right? I think fitness as a whole preys on people's insecurities
Correct.
and manipulates social values.
Mm.
And your body image just happens to be one of those things that is real easy to show you something that's super unrealistic, not unachievable, super unrealistic. Like the things that you have to do that are competitor level. Most of the information you have about decreasing body fat and these your six-pack abs, your real shredded look comes from people who are competing to have that body, not people who are living their everyday life. And then we look at superstar like J-Lo looks great. J-Lo has the resources and time to dedicate to her body because that's how she makes money, right? And that's every
Call a spade a spade.
actor. Like you make money off of this thing, you're gonna
Call a spade a
dedicate
spade.
more resources to it. It's unrealistic for me. I work in a gym. And 10 hours here, I have to have family time. Like it's for me to get the work that I used to get done when I was younger, super unrealistic. That doesn't mean that you can't have an achievable aesthetic. That's not what that is. But the intention towards your goals for a lot of people, again, consider the disconnect, is crazy, the amount of work. And I think we take that for granted. Most people don't understand it, and then we take it for granted because a lot of the stuff that you're gonna go through, considering a lot of what we deal with is body image. It's not performance, it's body image.
Mm.
A lot of it is challenging, largely because we have unrealistic expectations to begin with. So, reevaluate your expectations for self and have appropriate expectations as you approach a trainer. And that trainer should not have goals for you. Your trainer should not. What I mean is, all right. So this broke my heart. So if y'all don't know me, I was at 16. I was my heaviest. I was over 350 pounds. That's when I first got into training. I started training with my now wife's stepfather. First time I ever stepped in the gym, 16, and I got all the way down to 165, something like that. Yeah, that life was not for me. I was really small after spending my whole life there. Yeah, it was just weird. Right? All right, so being overweight has always been a life struggle, and I ran into a client who, when I asked when we were going over what the goals were, they asked, "What do you think I should weigh, or what do you think I should look like?" And that that hurt. It hurt me to know that that's what someone's thought process was, and I know that they were hurting because of how they asked it and things that they had done to get to where they were trying to go to. And it's crazy. It's a super unrealistic expectation of what is achievable in the moment. Now, I think we underestimate the value of compounding, right? So a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, and then continuing to build that. Because it takes so long for that to build, I think we super undervalue and underestimate that kind of power. For example, if you were to lose half a pound a week over 52 weeks, over the year.
That's a year. I don't know if y'all get that.
That's about 25 pounds, right?
Everybody.
It's about 25.
Yeah.
Make sure I was right.
Yeah.
All right, let's say he was doing that every week.
You do the math.
That's a massive difference.
You're talking
So if you're losing, if whatever you're losing over the year is more than where you were previously, that's progress. Whether it's stalled or whether it's continuing or whether it came back up a little, you made progress. And here's the best part. Here's what people overlook. You're starting new every time with a greater level of experience. So the expectation is to start over and continue building at new levels of experience so that you can get to the next step.
I'm writing down just like general concepts or ideas that are hindrances for people to hit their expectations.
I can go off on tangents.
I know.
Well,
So we hit, one of them was like understanding. Understanding exercise, understanding their body, their history, and understanding our service, what we're going to offer to you. The other thing is insecurity. If you feel insecure, you don't understand why you're insecure, that's going to block you from having reasonable expectations. And then the third thing I said was mistrusting the process of recreating this program. If you guys are to trust us, we will then see results for you because you're doing the work we're telling you. And I mean, we've been doing it for a while. I don't want to like toot everybody's horns here, but we get results. And trusting your trainer comes with developing a relationship with them, and that comes with talking. I think a lot of people are a little afraid to come to gyms to talk to the trainers, rightfully so, because there's some deviances out there. But you should feel comfortable coming to us because we come from so many backgrounds. And if there's an expectation that I want clients to have, is that we're going to be honest and real with you at all times.
you may not like it.
Yeah.
You should absolutely trust your trainer.
That you won't succeed otherwise.
There's some things that your trainer's not capable of dealing with. And I think trainers out there, you need to understand that.
Scope of practice.
Yeah.
Period. Pool.
Yeah. All right. And I'm trying to be really mindful not to sound like I'm attacking. So, when it comes to health and fitness, your mental and emotional health is incredibly. This is the physical manifestation of your mental and emotional health. So you are able to get out of this what you put in. We are not trained. Personal trainers are not trained, I don't care what your certification is, for that kind of treatment. I strongly believe,
Especially if you're labeling it as such.
yo,
It's okay to let somebody. It's okay to let a client vent,
yeah,
right?
but do not take it as a
But
therapy
when
session.
when you're either calling yourself a therapist of nature or you're providing a service that you're running into another field, that's usually where the red flags go off.
You can go a little further and say like it's worse when they try to market or sell you something.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's where the misinformation is coming from. Just a sidebar, still on the same topic. I wanted to say prior to your journey, right? There must be some form of reflection that's happening, an understanding of where you are in your present. And I say that because I think without doing that, that's where unrealistic expectations can spew from. If you're starting out on your journey, you want to see a trainer, and you're sedentary, so you're not really active, and you go, I want to train 5 days a week.
Unrealistic
Do you
expectations.
really though? And I say this, and I'm gonna be as blunt as possible because I want this message to get across. If you're currently not active, and now you're going to go to 5 days a week, you are doing yourself a disservice. Whenever realistically, what we're talking about is behavior change and habits and routines, right? We're talking behavior change, habits, and routines. Currently, you do not have habit or routine of being active, period. You don't. I know that you can have some kind of emotional response to whatever I just said, but it's the truth, and the truth hurts sometimes.
But you're beautiful.
Now, well, thank you, Dan. I appreciate you. So, what I'm saying though is you have to understand that if you have not been active, it is going to require work to move yourself across this continuum to being active and living an active lifestyle, right? Things that you have to consider is what is that, or how does that change your day to day? Have you thought about now you have to have, say, a gym membership, right? Have you factored that into your finances? You have to now travel. If you're driving, you have to go to and from the gym, which is additional gas, which is another finance. And I understand most people don't look at it that way, but that's all a reality, right? Because those could all be deterrents and reasons why you no longer go to the gym, right? Are you utilizing a membership, or do you have a membership but aren't even using it, right? So all those things have to be considered prior to going to embarking on your fitness journey, because if not, you're going to get railroaded, right? So people don't consider, they look at and they play the comparison game. We all do it. We all fall to it. You'll see Instagram or social media. You look at somebody whose age, height, weight, whatever. I want to look like that. Maybe, maybe not. But consider that individual that you're idolizing, A, has been it probably way longer than you have, right? So they have a certain amount of experience. 2, their job could be like ours. I get to be in the gym for 10 hours a day. I'm going to be in shape. Well, not all of us. Some people don't, but that's a whole other story. Understand that, again, going back to Chris's point earlier, having resources. What is the person that's giving you the information? How is it that they're benefited from it?
Are you talking to the trainer or the client right
I'm talking to the client.
So everybody.
Whoever want to listen, yo. You know what I'm saying? But nah. So understanding the person that you're receiving your information from, what is their game? Right? Are they giving you a program information? Are they selling you something? Right? Can you trust them?
Yeah.
Because realistically, I see people put out information and I go, that's not right.
What's the best way to vet your?
But usually,
your trainer?
When you're setting expectations, right? It's important to understand who you're working with and trust who you're working with. But how do you vet that person? Because you don't have to be certified. It's like there's no governing body for training.
right? Yeah. I think, man.
I feel like you should feel comfortable with having a free consultation and saying no if it doesn't feel right.
I think your trainer should offer free consultation.
They should also offer free consultations. If they don't do that, I'm
Someone
sorry.
tells you I got the answer for you right away. Nah.
I think that's
a
so.
red flag.
So okay, here's I think one of the biggest ways you can vet your trainer.
Alright.
If they tell you that their way is the best way or the only way, they're probably not the right trainer.
That's one way. Yeah, that's
Because I will tell you, after years of experience, not only my own personal experience,
these guys.
How many years you been doing? 'Cause we've been together for it's going on 5 years. We've been doing business together. But before that, at the Y,
with another two.
I have 16. I'm old.
I'm saying with us together.
Like you individual.
So I've been in sports my entire life. I've been
training,
in
like training.
actual training people. Man, I was under the table with it. I didn't want to have to put it out. I don't have to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? But my own training and people that I've trained, I maybe have 10, maybe a decade.
Not around.
16, but I didn't say they're all good 16. I do a lot
There was a
of
learning process.
But that's how it's gotta be, you know. Like, I think another expectation for clients and trainers is expect this to be a career. This is going to be a lifelong journey. But I feel like using the word journey gets people thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking the word right.
It's gonna take so long.
Yeah, it's gonna be tumultuous and crazy. Nah, it's a career. Like crazy. Like
No, I understand it. I heard it. I used the context clues. I'm just saying, I ain't never heard it before.
I heard that word said.
I thought I said
already
T
couple
word.
words come out of my mouth, man. I can't help it.
I respect
But
it.
like career-wise, like if you were to look at yourself and get ready for retirement, think of exercise and the compounding that Chris was talking about as you putting away savings for your health and retirement later on. Like if you don't look at it that way and see that it's a slow and steady pace to get there, your expectations won't be met.
Correct.
And I think slowing it down and also like maybe building a picture as a trainer for the people. It lets them know, like be transparent. Exercise and wellness, like at the bare bones, because it's repetitive, is pretty easy and simple. You can simplify it.
I wouldn't say easy.
It's not easy.
Let's
It's
keep it
simple.
100%
Simple.
simple.
It's simple.
Anybody who's watching this knows how to be fit. Respectfully.
Respectfully.
You understand the basics.
We're saying that we don't believe in weak people. That's not a thing.
Period.
You're so much more capable than you think you are.
Right.
So when we say that you have the information, it's a matter of there's a lot I'm sure that you're bombarded with that you're trying to sift through.
And that's okay. That's fair.
Deep down,
That's fair. That's fair. So
you know detox teas don't work.
nope. Chris, wait, time out, Chris. You can't go there. You gonna go? You can't go there. You can't go there.
Nah, not today.
Well,
Next time.
next time. Next time. That's the next time. That's episode 2. We'll just go the whole episode.
Sneak peek. I tune in next time.
Yo, I think truthfully, in your journey, point blank period, my advice would be to stop lying to yourself. You are so much more than what you give yourself credit for. The amount of excuses you are using, whether that be time, whether that be money, whether that be energy, whether that be effort, whether that be knowledge, I don't care what it is, right? And I'll even tell you, I'll give you one better. Your excuse may be valid, but what are you gonna do about it? What are you really gonna do about it? How many times are you gonna continue to complain about you not being where you want to be? And this is to myself. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm coming straight for you, right? I myself always know there's a part of me that could always be doing more. There's a part of me that could always be doing better. If you feel like you're in an area where there's no more growth for you, you failed and you will continue to fail. There's always going to be room for growth, period. There's always going to be something to learn. So if you're going into your sessions, and you're going into you're meeting your trainer, and you have not taken that as a responsibility, you may see some results, but I guarantee you won't be where you want to be. And I mean that extremely heartfelt, because I can't tell you how many clients that I've worked with that have had troughs and valleys and peaks and valleys, whatever you want to call them. But what happens is they set their expectation here, they put minimal effort, and then what happens is they get so upset.
It's unachievable.
They get so upset at them not wanting it to happen in the time frame that they've planned for themselves. So then they get sad and depressed about it, and then they end up going here. The goal never changed, and then they switch from program to program. They switch from plan to plan. They switch from trainer to trainer, looking for other reasons as to why it's not working, and the only reason why it's not working is you.
They're looking for new plots of land instead of building a foundation.
I'm not saying that it's
Yep.
I understand that there's a point at which you may not have all the information, and I get it. I know it's real. However, do you not get it? Like, would you just continuously live a life where you go, nah, you know what? It's okay, I don't know. I'll just get a trainer. And then now, because my job as a trainer, and I say trainer / coach, because my roles change depending on the individual in which I'm working with, I'm not going to sit, like, at first I'm going to give you the information. And then I'm going to give you the information. But if we're working for months and months and months and or years, and you have not picked up the mantle on the foundation, like there's no reason why after working together for a month, you don't understand the exercise that I'm talking about.
I'll give it 3 months.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Well,
I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you that. He might give you that. I'm not giving you that.
A month? All right, so then you probably train him once a week.
So once a
3
week,
months.
if it's a
30
consistent,
minutes, baby. Oh yeah.
What I'm saying is, you may not have to know all of the different exercises because it depends on the program you run. But if I tell you we're squatting, you know what a squat is by now.
Okay.
If I tell you we're going to do a hinge pattern, you should get an idea of the muscle groups we're working. You don't need to know the technical terms. You don't need to know the science terms. You should be able to say, oh, the back of my legs, I bet.
But you'll learn as you go along too. Like
Correct.
I talk to my clients like, yo, it's anatomy class, baby. If you don't know something, I'm not gonna poke at you for it. I'm gonna just say this is it,
Right.
and I'll repeat that over and over until you get it.
See, Dan's nicer than we are.
I'm patient. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Patient.
It's not even. It's not. I think that. Every time you see me crack a smile, it's because I'm running a conversation I've had in my head before. Yeah, that's it. That's it. There should be equal investment.
That is the
Hold
truth.
up. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be equal. I'm taking that back. There should be. There should be
I like that.
greater investment from the individual pursuing the goal.
I can't do more work than you.
I like that more.
I won't do that.
I can't do more work than you.
I won't do
You see me an hour. So like, and I'm gonna give you an example. I had a client who I was seeing once a week, right? By month 3, the individual was upset because they weren't where they thought they were supposed to be. My questions to her was, have you done the work outside of when we met? She said, no. Okay. By the work, I'm referring to nutrition. By the work, I'm referring to logging that nutrition or like the workouts, exercises that were planned. So I said, let me get this right. You're upset because you're not where you want to be, but you're not upset that you didn't do anything else other than when we met. So in my head, my question was whether or not that was an unrealistic expectation. That you can put in bare minimum effort and get maximum results.
I think it's
So it's a perspective and it's a mindset shift where it's like people. I think sometimes people look at the training as in punishment, or they look at it as like this is the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like if I go once a week, I'll be good. I have a trainer; they know what they're doing. But like what we do here doesn't cover the other 23 hours of that day. You get what I'm saying? So even if you come to me 3 times a week, it still doesn't cover the same amount of time that you're going to not be training. That also doesn't mean you need to starve yourself. It also doesn't mean that you need to try to go and walk with sauna suits on and do all types of extra ridiculousness. What it means is you need to be more conscious of your efforts. That could be, do I really need that extra plate? Probably not. Do I really
It's
need...
important. Like, this isn't a scolding either. this is like this. This is what has to happen. Everybody will enter at their level,
Correct.
and they will achieve what they can, provided with what they give.
Correct.
And then eventually, you either decide, do I want to stay at this level, or is it time to progress? And with each progression, everything gets more technical, everything gets more difficult, everything
Right.
gets more involved.
Right.
And that involvement mainly comes from the individual, because the trainer should already be planning and adjusting the plan as necessary
Based
to
on-
meet that, to
right.
meet the goal. Keeping in mind, some goals are unachievable based on what's being provided.
Correct.
So,
But as you level up and the technique improves and you become more technical, the fruit of your labor becomes that much sweeter.
that's the goal.
And you feel better. You will, all those negative thoughts and things that blocked you in the beginning go away.
You know what? I won't go there because more recently, I think I've been working with, y'all don't see me post because I've been working with the same people for a long time.
No new friends.
They
No
are-
new friends.
Yo, they
no,
are
no.
strong, bro. And I think some people are running into I'm bored or it's not fun. And bored and fun are different, right? Because my workouts are boring, but I'm not bored of doing them. I don't know if that makes sense.
I hate my workout, so don't even.
Your
I write it myself.
your fun has to come from you. It has to come from you. I don't enjoy working out because working out. I enjoy being able to use my body in a way I never thought was possible. I
So
enjoy
your mind changes. You're changing the way you're thinking.
sort of. I think, but my fun comes from how I look at what I'm
Right.
doing versus what I'm doing.
Mm.
Like, I don't have to change things to make it
Right.
fun.
Well, you gain, I feel like, an appreciation for the body once you move it a certain way. Because you see the beauty in it. You see that, wow, mechanically I practice this movement and now I can get my squat to the point where I'm very low, my hips still feel stable.
Yeah, sometimes.
I think, but
Sometimes people just get like,
Yeah,
I think-
find fun in ab work.
I was about to say, I think
I find fun in that word.
It's
It's hilarious.
it's the individual involvement in their perspective of what it is they're doing that makes it fun.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if you have
If you're always doing the same thing, it's because you're always doing the same thing.
We have to keep in mind though, it's like we're trainers, so this is our life. We're bred around this. Other people don't
Yeah.
surround themselves with this. So for people like that, how do you make it fun?
I don't
How
make,
do you
I don't
make it
make fun, I
interesting?
make results.
How do you get them to engage with their spirit? That should be the question.
like so here's what I say. I'm gonna be 100% with you. For me, working out is not fun. Quite frankly, I hate it. Right? I mean, totally honest, totally transparent.
If you didn't have to do it, you wouldn't do it.
If I didn't have to, I wouldn't.
Okay.
But here's the caveat to that.
Okay.
I enjoy feeling strong.
Mm.
I don't enjoy working out. Who likes to pick up weight and put it down? It's annoying. But I enjoy the aspect of not being in pain. I enjoy the aspect of holding an aesthetic that I can be proud of. I enjoy the aspect of I can walk up a flight of stairs and not be gassed. I enjoy
Individual
correct. I enjoy that I've set out on specific goals and been able to work towards them and accomplish them. That is what I take appreciation for. And I think there's something about fitness at every level that can take an appreciation. Like for some clients I've had started, I said, listen, let's just work on you being consistent with getting here. And then highlighting that. That's worth mentioning. I think what happens is they get so caught up in, well, I'm not here yet. Yeah, we all know that. Come on, you're not here, of course. But you've done this, this, and this. Can we find some value in that?
Can we take
You went from doing
Yeah.
nothing to now working out.
Yeah,
consistently
take the time to appreciate that.
Appreciate that you've gone that far. You've done that much, and you're that much closer. But if you keep comparing yourself to that end goal, oh yeah, it's gonna be defeating. It's gonna be demoralizing. You're not gonna want to keep doing it. That's when it becomes boring. That's when it becomes not fun anymore. But when you say, oh man, yo, I went to the gym twice last week. Yo, today we gonna step it up. We going 3. I'm gonna handle my business. It's all a mindset shift in how.
5 minutes. we could run forever with this.
Alright,
Let's go 5 minutes.
alright,
Yeah.
period. Alright, so listen in, 5 minutes, talking about expectations on your fitness journey. First and foremost, I need you to reflect. I need you to be real with yourself. How much work are you devoting to this lifestyle change?
Can you realistically?
Can you realistically?
Not
And,
what you
and you
want.
can only answer that. If anybody else is telling you, I'm telling you, you're already stepping in the wrong foot. You have to. I don't care what coach it is. I don't care what trainer it is. Whatever your guru is. Respectfully, I don't even care if he's a doctor. I really don't. You're going to have to decide and decipher how much effort and energy are you willing to devote to this lifestyle change. That is the first place I think you should be going in order to track or start your journey.
So as you're deciding where you're going, setting realistic expectations of yourself, and if needed, finding a professional, the right professional, meaning the right field, whatever you need at the moment, to help clarify, simplify, and set smaller steps or break down into smaller components.
Minimum effective.
Yeah, your goal.
Yeah, training, working out. If you look at it as like chewing, do you think about when you chew your food? Nah, you're focused on getting full. That's how you should look at your training.
Okay, yeah.
You're chewing your food, you're chewing your muscles up. But focus on being full afterwards, full of strength.
I think these things.
Is that a bad analogy?
That was awful, bro. That was awful. I don't know where he was going with that one.
I think I got it.
I got it.
Yum, yum, yum. I love my strength.
Am I supposed to eat now to get big or get small? I don't know. I'm confused. Things I would tell you to watch out for. Any of your gurus, your influencers, whatever you call it, if they're telling you that the process is quick, fast, or easy, right? Those are the big three. If they say it's quick, fast, or easy, it's not. It's really not. It's going, like, you should be expecting some kind of friction. It's not the easy road. And the path of the easy road shouldn't be taken anyways. There's no growth in that.
Expect the worst, and if it's not, even better. But
I'm not saying you're like, oh man, I'm gonna fail.
No, consumers should remember, and everybody I think should remember this. Detach yourself from the imagination that does not serve your well-being, and remember you need to survive.
Yo, it's all about you. At
It's
the end of
about
the day.
you, and this it will help you survive.
Yeah, I think long term, set yourself performance goals versus aesthetic goals at first. They're much more easily
you're able to track
measured, and those that measure more frequently, I personally think that that's where happiness comes from. Measurement, because if I can say, hey, I set this goal for myself, and I'm tracking myself if I'm on track, I'm focused on the process. I'm focused on I feel like if you focus on the process, and the progress will happen. I'm not looking so much as the goal. I'm looking at the routines and the habits that surround that. And if I can then hone in on that, then I guarantee that I can get to that goal.
establish your goals, or let's say set expectations for your goals. Redefine what is reasonable as far as your expectations, and accurately measure. That disconnect between what you want and what's achievable comes down to measurement. And a lot of the things that we're measuring are the wrong thing. Your success versus your failure are not good measures. And you are not a good
I mean, you're going to make people
assessor.
fail. I've seen you put people under the bar and they don't complete the rep, but that was the purpose. That was the goal.
This is you fail safely.
Yeah, you fail safely.
And not just you. When you're in fitness, the goal is to fail safely. Your understanding what you're doing is to fail safely, so that you can do it again and do it better. If you're achieving all the time, you're not achieving. Yeah.
all in all, I think we can close out by saying at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's up to you to be real with yourself. Understand that your actions affect you, affects those that are around you. It affects the generations that come after you. But like, you genuinely owe it to yourself to live and be the best version of you. Whether that's fitness, whether that's your finances, whether that's your career, whether that's your relationships. At the end of the day, it's up to you. Take ownership. Take responsibility of that fact. Get help when and if you need it. But don't be afraid to also dig a little deeper. Look for the intrinsic values in what you do versus the extrinsic. Make sure you're doing it for you. We're always here to help. You can always feel free to send us a message. We'll get to you as soon as possible. We have a bunch of coaches here that have a wide array of talents and experiences that is really just to help you guys become better versions of you. We're still learning. We're still growing in every step that we take.
Yeah, so we're gonna drop a link to the promo code to the discount for our detox teas and protein supplements. Make sure you click on that.
Chris will not be invited to the next one. We'll do that, okay? So it'll just be us if that's the case. We're gonna sub it. We're gonna switch him out. We're gonna switch
Cut out.
We're gonna edit that out on a live or something. Nah, guys, but we appreciate you. Remember, it's all up to you. You got the power. And as always, if it don't move, it don't work. It don't work. Also, if there's other topics you want us to cover, go ahead and send that. And we'll consider it. Because if it's stupid, I'm not gonna talk about it. Okay? You heard?
You know what? I'm not discussing water. I'm not doing it.
Oh no! Oh no!